be patient, and you're live.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm BreakyCPK, joined by What You Got, and this is the Paradise League Hans Grand Finale. We have made it. These two teams playing for what's a $10,000 prize pool on the line. Honestly, some really good money definitely on the line here, and we have a best out of 5. And what's a little more special than just your normal haunt event, let's be honest, it's, well, frankly, the final haunt event that we know of, as we are in the final weekend before everything is to come to a close. But we're not going to dwell on that right now. We got a great best of 5 that's in front of us, and I am excited to be here casting as we got Team Tim versus Team Doghouse. But what you got? Welcome. How you doing, buddy?
Thank you for the warm welcome, Breaky. And I gotta say, year after year, I never get tired of hearing that intro. I'm so happy you did it. As we're finally here, these two teams have fought tooth and nail through 5 cycles to get here to the grand finale, where you said it, going up with a best of 5. So this is gonna be quite the battle, and I am very excited to be here and cast this game. So we got the draft underway.
Yeah,
let's
get
into the game.
These teams are. It's safe to say these teams of players are pretty confident. Has there been I want to start with this. Has there been like a balance patch very recently, or has it been in a similar spot for a while?
I think the last one, I'm looking at the log here, was January. So it's been pretty much the same for what, like 5 months now or so, 5-6 months. So
teams pretty confident with what
they're pretty comfortable with pretty much everything that's going on in the game. It's been pretty stagnant.
Well, let's talk about that. What we have right here, we have the Sir Bensington first pick coming out, Moira and Rowley on the side of Team Tim. On the other side for Doghouse, Magnus and Engineer. What do you think? What do you think of these drafts so far?
So right away, I noticed the Bensington gets picked up as it's the first pick from Team Tim. This is a hero that both of these teams really like to run. So I could expect throughout the series to see this either banned or picked by either side. And they already pick up the Moira and the Rally as well on Team Tim's side, which means they usually like to run tri-lanes when they pick these types of heroes up. The Rally is a very comfortable hero for Volca, who plays a very good roaming position 4. And the Bensington, as of recently, actually, I think in either Cycle 4 it started or Cycle 5, they started putting the Bensington occasionally onto their position 3, which is Taipei, as of late. So it might not necessarily be Imboboy playing the Bensington in the tri-lane. They could still opt to run it in a solo lane. So I'm still unsure how they will run that. But then on Doghouse's side, Magnus Engineer is just like a really good combination of heroes. They can both be supports, or they could both either be ran as core heroes. So we have to wait to see the rest of the draft.
They also pair well with Balfagor's Hella Newer, so we're looking at some good wombo combo potential, certainly. I'm looking forward to the Hellborn lineup over there. That makes it with a shot. But by the way, before we continue on the draft, I do gotta say, it's obviously coming back to an event like this, and sure, maybe I'm personally not watching the most ton, I will admit, over the months past, but coming back into these finals here, going to be casting this. It's so cool seeing a lot of these familiar names, specifically over there in Team Tim, the brothers themselves, Imboboy and Zane, still grinding it out, still having a good time, and apparently still doing pretty well all the way to the very end here on the side of Team Tim. So I just love seeing that.
Oh yeah, these guys are veterans. I mean, anybody who's watched Han throughout its lifetime will recognize those two names over there. Very, very familiar.
All right, Shadowblade though. This is I love this hero personally throughout history. Now, there never really was a meta, back when really was casting and really into it with Shadowblade core, but apparently that's different nowadays.
Yeah, so Shadowblade, he can be ran as like a tri-lane carry, and he only really needs like 1 to 2 items to really take off in the game. You get like a Nullfire Blade into a Shrunken Head, and this hero just outputs ridiculous amounts of damage once he stacks the stats up with his Essence Shift. And the fact that he can become ranged form in the tri-lane makes him a bit more of a stronger presence, as he has a mini stun on his Soul's Sight now. That got changed some months back, so he got a little bit of a better laning phase. But yeah, he scales very, very well, and you pretty much almost have to shut this hero down, because once it gets to late game, this hero is a monster.
All right, so that's the third pick over there. You got the Balfagor. Now the final pick to come. Thinking of what they need as far as the other side, though, they finished with, what was that, a Torture, yeah, Torture and a Gladiator, as they've now been swapping around heroes themselves. But
Mhm.
that lineup over there instead of Team Tim really screams to me very gank heavy. Very, we're gonna try to find you by yourselves or roaming around and setting up kills.
Yeah, so what Team Tim has been doing, and I go back to this last couple of cycle type of thing, is they've been putting Torture in the tri lane, and they run that on Imbo Boy, and he plays it very, very well. It's a very aggressive kill centric tri lane where they get farm on the Torture, and then he scales, and then they send the Bensington instead of into the tri lane, they send him into that solo short lane, where he can get an early level 6, do well in his 1 versus 1 matchup, and then he gets the global presence to start being present with the rest of his team. And then they pick up the Gladiator as their mid option, which is a very strong laner, but also he can catch people throughout the early and mid game stages, setting up for an early Nightfall to catch people out. So it's a really good combination with the Bensington to pick up the Gladiator, and it also gives them a Tricore with the Torture pickup.
Lord South Forest, final pick on the Hellborn side. So our lineups are complete, but what are we thinking about the Lord South Forest pick to conclude it for the Hellborn?
I think Lord Forest is always a really strong core option. So they last picked that, which means they're going to go Tricore versus Tricore with Balfagor, Shadowblade, and Lord Forest being the 3 core heroes here for Doghouse. And Forest is going to have a number of targets to choose from who he wants to put that Undying on, depending on whether Torture goes for more of like a tank up, sustain item path route. He might be looking to put that Undying onto Torture this game, but Bensington is a hero that is relatively squishy throughout the early stages, so if he gets hit with an Undying in 1 to 2 spells, he's usually going to be going down. So I think it's a pretty good pick, and it's going to allow them to have one guy who can soak jungle stacks and split push and soak creep waves a lot.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to pause here, so actually perfect time, as, we're talking about this $10,000 prize pool, this being the Hans Grand Finale, brought to you by Paradise League. Also, a couple of sponsors to give a shout out to help supporting this event and helping to get such a prize pool. First one being Community Gaming. They run weekly tournaments for Valorant, Super Smash Bros., Hearthstone, a lot more games, both in traditional games, even in the Web3 community, if you're interested in that. Community Gaming is an all-in-one platform that helps supercharge events of all levels, from community grassroots to the Tier 1 professional level. So we're talking all over the place. Definitely check out the website, communitygaming.io, or join their Discord to learn more. And there's also Polydoge. Polydoge actually awesome sponsor themselves. They're a digital currency with one of the most vibrant communities on the powerful Polygon network. It offers a wide variety of fun interactions to its holders in the form of NFTs, apps, airdrops, and access to different DeFi platforms ready to use on Polygon. Experience it for yourself at polydoge.com. So there you go. All right, so we are in this pause here.
Mm-hmm.
And teams talking strats, perhaps, as far as what they want to do. So, you mentioned the ideas of trial lanes potentially coming out. If you had to guess here, what you got, what are we going to be seeing as far as are we going to see a tri versus trial lane matchup? You think coming at us?
So if I know these two teams as well as I hope that I know them, after seeing so many of their games, I think what we're going to see this game, and of course I might be wrong, but what I think we'll see is both teams tri lane up in the top lane. So they'll send the Torture, Moira, Rally tri-lane top, and I think they might already be doing the opposite of what I'm saying, as I'm seeing them head to their lanes. I was expecting to see the Bensington versus Lord Forest matchup in the bottom lane, and then Balfagor versus Gladiator mid lane, but these two teams, maybe they just have the mind games with each other. They're like, oh, well, they think we'll do this, so we'll swap it up and do this kind of thing. And,
sure.
Obviously the whole point of these drafting stages is to mind game your opponents with how you're going to lane your heroes to get the best out of your early laning stages. But it looks like Doghouse is going to send their tri-lane defensively. I think that is the right call because they have the Shadowblade, who is, I would say, the hardest carry in this game. So if he gets a safe farm, that is always going to be good for Doghouse. But Team Tim is deciding to try to mix the strategy up here and put their tri-lane maybe defensively with the Torture. Alternatively, they have the Bensington, who could still be tri-lane, so they could just put the supports up in the top lane if they want to, because Torture is a hero that is very capable of being left alone, especially against a hero like Balfagor. But yeah, it is interesting to me that they didn't decide to send the Torture tri-lane to the top lane.
So it is it really is a position one torture here. That's what we're seeing.
More or less, because Boy is the notorious carry player for the
Yeah.
team. So yeah, in a sense, he is the position one. All in all, it really just depends on how they want to allocate the farm, because Bensington would be the best scaling hero, I would say, in their team, and then Torture maybe the second, Gladiator probably the third. But it just depends on how well every single one of those heroes does in their lane, because every hero can scale very well.
It's always so fun coming back and hearing comments like that. Oh yeah, Sir Bensington's gonna, scale and carry this. I'm just like, what the fuck? What? Sir Bensington is like, when did that happen?
Oh, there are games where this hero just gets like a monster game, and he's just. Have you ever seen Staff of the Master on this guy? By the way, he gets like so much attack range, and he's just hitting you from like Flint Beastwood range. It's really fun to see.
I think I do remember the last time Sir Bensington was very legit as well, and we're talking about the last 6 months or so. I remember Kaz an event and similar idea. So yeah, I believe I have, but yeah, it's still just interesting to hear. But all right, so he is going to be up there by himself though against the Trilane. Obviously, can't expect the most efficient farm for him. You already see some pulling coming out. Some clever play from Lilac as he's on the Magnus. And going to keep that going throughout, essentially playing a jungle Magnus right here. But this is that dual lane setup. Zane on Moira is protecting the ha, playing Gladiator. And allowing him to get some good farm against Lord Self. So what do we think about that?
So I think Doghouse has some decisions to make. If they want to keep the lanes like this, they're not going to do well in the two solo lanes, because right now Team Tim is 2v1 in both of those mid and bottom lanes. So they're going to be getting good farm on both Gladiator and Torture. And to win 2 out of 3 lanes is always really what you want to achieve in early laning stages. And Doghouse is only going to be getting free farm on the Shadow Blade right now. So at some point, we're going to need to see Magnus and Engineer make their presence felt in either the mid or the bottom lane.
Yeah, Magnus, he is spending a lot of time in that jungle, of course, benefiting certainly. He is level 3, but just as you're saying that, he is going to control the 2-minute rune. Looks like Will pick it up. Happens to be a haste rune that spawns, and maybe
it's also being spotted on the word of sight here, though. Okay. But Bensington is going to get walked down here if he can time this correctly. One more auto attack. Yeah. He's got the apple. Might go for a dive here. The tower.
Got it.
Oh, he's going to live.
He actually lives. I thought the tower was for sure going to get one more shot off, but Magnus not only gets the kill, but gets out middle lane. They're going to go for a play onto Lord Southforest. He's not an easy target to kill. The Manor Sunder's out. Lord Southforest just going to run away, though. Regen's kicking in, and he will survive. Taking plenty of damage, so Gladiator once again continues some great farm, but that was a bloodlust coming out for the side of the Hellborn.
Yeah, so that's going to get Magnus some build-up items, and looks like he's going to be stacking the jungle. I'm not sure if he's going to be actually jungling or just getting those ready for maybe the Southforest, probably to take once he gets like level 5 or so. Probably the latter, as he's probably going to want to keep making his impact felt on the lanes.
How is that mid lane going? Lord Southforest 6-0 against the 19-9 Gladiator. Again, is going up against that Moira support as well as Lord Southforest. So very understandably, Gladiator is
Alphagor bottom lane is in some trouble. Compel.
Regurgitate a little bit. Oh, the nuke is almost for the kill. The auto attack, he actually gets the stun off right there for the chain reactions. And will get a response on his Nookie, so well played by Emma Boy. Top lane, Tapey goes down on the Sir Bensington once again. Looks like fall credit for the kill, but
mid lane as well. We got action in every single lane. Double stun comes in from the Magnus, beautiful.
That was a beautiful double stun, exactly. Line up on both. They take out the key target in Gladiator. Moira's gonna go for the return kill. We'll get the return kill, but at what cost for Moira?
Yeah, Magnus is gonna clean it up, but getting the return kill on the side of the Southforest was really nice from the side of Zane. He knew he was gonna get ran down by the Magnus there with another Lava Surge, so he made the best of a bad situation.
This Magnus, though, you kind of called it, Chris. The idea that they're going to need him to start being a bit more useful as far as being in the jungle quite a bit. He hit level 3, he got that haste rune, and
bottom lane,
bloodlust, and once again, he's setting up another kill. But yeah, you talk about the bottom lane, Balfagor.
He's actually turning. He's got a TP coming in from Magnus. If they kill the Tort, though, this could be okay, because Torture is worth a lot of gold right now. But there's a great compel from Volca. He might actually go down himself now.
The Cookie Monsters.
And top lane.
The chain reaction not in time.
And top lane Bensington also died again, so Bensington's 0-3 now.
We got plenty of kills coming out. 6-3, favoring for Team Doghouse over here on the Hellborn.
Yeah, whenever these
5
two
minutes
teams battle, it's always like action-packed. We have 9 kills already, Breaky, in 5 minutes, so almost 2 kills a minute.
It's safe to say, like, right, unless I'm mistaken, I mean, this is the biggest Han prize pool that there's been in a while. Let's be blunt. Like, $10,000 prize pool. That's a lot of money. I believe it's a 80-20 split, so 8,000 for first, 2,000 for second. So both teams still going away with something, but still, obviously, first place, that's quite a significant amount of more money. So not only are these teams familiar with each other, playing a lot of these events over time, but again, we're talking a good chunk of change here. Gotta think that makes it a bit of a step up.
Oh yeah, and you know both these teams want to bring their A game here, especially, you know, get some momentum for themselves starting off with game number 1. I want to talk about some of the rotations that we see happening. So Sulfuras, he did end up going into the jungle. Very low on life, he just took out the 2 triple stacks. So now he's starting to recover. He's almost 300 GPM, so that's very good for him. And then they stick Balfagor into the mid lane so he can try to get some kind of XP going for himself, because bottom lane was just not going very well for him against the double stun combo. And then Magnus was soaking XP in the bottom lane while this was going on, so he's now level 6 and he's trying to make a rotation here in the mid lane.
He's setting up. A rally's also nearby. Volka sneaking in as well. Looking to make a play. Doesn't see the Magnus yet, I don't believe.
Here comes the showdown. They're going to initiate here on the Balfagor.
Want to Compel. No, he's going to be stunned first. There is a TP coming in as well. Balfagor trying to live nice. Compel eventually goes through. Balfagor goes down, but beautiful kicks out of the rally. Makes it a 1-for-1. The hastened up Gladiator, though, should be able to easily get away, and that'll be the end of that exchange. Bottom lane, looks like Torch is just going to keep pushing the bottom tower. Meanwhile, up at top, Shadowblade, he is having a very good time. 450 gold per minute, yet another death on that Sir Bensington. This might be a tower kill for him as well. Look at the 10 agility that he's also gotten as a result of the Essen shift. But as I'm going on about that, they're looking to set up a kill onto him. This would be a big one. Showdown going to bring him right back. Moira stun. Yes, it connects. And there is the kill onto Fall. So talk about a very clutch kill. But Ammo Boy also goes down. So it's like both teams somewhat mirroring each other as far as killing the cores there.
Yeah, both teams kind of doing the same thing at the same time. Both of the short lane tower or long lane towers for the opposing sides are in deny range. Both carries or priority farmers get ganked and get killed, and then both towers get denied. It's exactly like you said. It's like a mirror.
Well, that makes it a 9-5 game, but more importantly, about a 1,500 gold lead for the side of Team Doghouse. Look at the sword South Forest. So we talked about the struggle start that he had, understandably. He's recovering. I mean, he's taking advantage with these stacks over here. Spamming that more Certissima. Still think one of the more unique names.
Bottom lane, Pitfall connects under the Balfagor, and this will be a dead Balfagor. There's just too much stun lockdown coming out.
3 players coming together, trying to take out the minions. A little too strong, they'll get away, but they got the hero in Balfagor, so they'll be fine with that. Is that a portal key we just saw picked up? It sure is.
Look at Magnus. Almost 400 GPM. He's on 376 with a 8-minute portal key. That is insane to have that so early on. I'm looking forward to see what he can bring to the table with this early pickup for their Doghouse. Maybe they can get some key pickoffs in the next couple of minutes, and then Balfagor can try to get some momentum going, because right now he's currently the lowest farmer on his team. A very this is not like Snooki, so definitely showing that he's really had a struggle this first game so far.
Oh, Moira almost going over there. Nice pitfall in from Gladiator. He's going to pop the ultimate. He sure is. Showdown brings him back. The perfect time stun. He needs more help. The beautiful Compel. The timing. It hits Magnus as he portal keyed in, and he's going to go down as well. They'll call it. They'll say that was on purpose. Let's be honest. That was a happy accident.
And
they
then
do lose Moira in the background. Engineer throwing out some mines, trying to bait them into it. You mentioned Balfagor going down as well. Engineer is going to survive for the time being. He's just stuck in no man's land now. These mines. Okay, they'll kill them. That was scary. But yeah, talk about that timing, man. I mean, that's just unfortunate. To show off the new portal key, gets caught in his stun as he blinks in.
Yeah, I'm very unfortunate. And I actually missed what happened bottom, but I guess Torture dove the tower and Balfagor got a return kill. Looks like he got his hell on Newerthoff, so that probably was just enough damage to bring down Torture. And that's going to actually favor Balfagor, because he's going to get more gold from that kill.
Okay, so that's what happened. So Torture did go down too. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge. You mentioned Snooki having a bit of a struggle on his Balfagor, but he'll be happy about that. But look at him, my boys. Back to the bottom lane, even with no tower there, is gonna push it in further. Gonna keep that pressure up. Doesn't have the impalement to assist with these tower pushes. He's instead going for more of the heal damage nuke build. But
yeah, so he's prioritizing pushing out the waves with the bonds. That's on a 5-second cooldown. It's a pretty spammable wave clear nuke. Allows for a lot of early game damage. And they're trying to set up the skill here on Balfagor, but Magnus is in the area to maybe go for a counter gank. Currently 3 people from Team Tim are down here. So Moira's going to get a word up on the deep part of the ancient cliff here.
yeah, they're roaming around here, just controlling the cliff.
Nice counter ward coming out
Side.
from Doghouse on the cliff by the tower there. They remove some of the vision, but maybe they'll feel a little comfortable now. There's still that ward on the left that we just talked about, so.
Look at Rally. He's pretty comfortable. He does have that seismic slam, but I don't think he can kill the Magnus by himself right now, so not going to go for a play there.
And on the other side of the map, we have Engineer starting to maybe put a mine trap up on this ramp over by the top lane.
Mid lane.
Yep, mid lane.
Gonna go for Magnus. There it is. Yeah, the patience. There's a seismic slam. I said he's not going to get the kill by himself. Well, that wasn't by himself. He had 4 heroes essentially coming together, including Sir Bensington with that Nightfall. There's a bit of that really gotcha potential that Team Tim's lineup had coming into this.
Yep, and every time they get a catch with the showdown, it just sets up beautifully for the Nightfall to kind of be channeled.
So free tower kill, Gladiator. What kind of build are we expecting on Gladiator? He's got to have some money at 2,200 gold saved up. So where's Gladiator going, you think?
You know, that's a good question. This hero can be built a number of ways. He can either be built as more like this frontline utility tank kind of hero, or as you maybe have remembered from past years, the one-shot Shroud Rift Shards kind of build. So I think he could do either one. It really just depends on how they want to build the Torture as well. I am expecting to see maybe Gnome's Wisdom, Sackstone, Torture just kind of bulking up a bit. But on Gladiator, it depends. If they want to like just run at Doghouse, like an early barrier idol could be very good for them. Otherwise, he could go into more like utility items like PK, Storm Spirit, just kind of set up crowd control. Because right now the Bensington, he's not doing well, so he's not going to be outputting a lot of physical or magical presence other than his spells. So Gladiator could definitely go for more of a damage route if he wants to.
Shadowblade just bought something. What's being delivered to him right here? Ooh, it is a Firebrand. Okay, so he's got the Firebrand. Is this going to be a Dawnbringer all the way, you think? I mean, that seems like a hero that certainly benefits from that.
It wouldn't...
bottom lane, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Because Balfagor gets double stun. Magnus is there for a response.
Moira Shard missed, unfortunately, or they could have maybe gotten a return kill. But there was the Steam Bath up. He could have Steam Bathed that Moira Shard. So yeah. Actually, Dawnbringer wouldn't be out of the question, but typically we see Geo's and Nullfire Blade combination. It's just really strong with the mana combustion from Nullfire. I am actually a bit surprised that Fa went for the Firebrand instead of the Nullfire, but I am thinking he still will go for it, just maybe after. Mid lane we have a initiation on the Gladiator here.
Yep, Call to Arms. I don't think he got the buff from it himself, and they just run him down. Easy kill, compel. Oh, into the vortex. Moira throws herself in as well. They want this kill to Shadowblade. They're gonna go for a Nightfall in, but he is a tanky beast right now. Very
Kickstun hit on the Bensington. Nice kickstun. But he's gonna live. And Shadowblade, Torture's out of mana, but here comes a Shard. They're not even gonna need it. Meanwhile, over on the side, Rally goes down to Salforus.
They want more. They're out for blood. Self-Force thinking about it. He has Undying still. He's going to use it right here.
Double
Not just
stun.
a beautiful double stun. Moira goes down. Torture will
Oh, the mines! He's gonna catch Bensington!
Got him.
Nice mine trap from Dude, and they fought around that area, so great job.
Yep. You see Lord Self-Force just cleaning up the rest of it. So Lord Self-Force, again, a struggle start, but he has certainly recovered. In fact, he is actually now better than Shadowblade, which is kind of a blessing in disguise. It might not be the best thing because that means Shadowblade's actually starting to struggle a little bit, but still, you get the point. Self-Force has been at least doing better, but talk about somebody that's been doing really good overall, and 3,100 gold now for Gladiator. So whatever Gladiator is going, I mean, He's gonna buy something big soon. Balfagor.
Yeah, they actually caught him up in the top lane. I think they caught him with the Moira, if I'm not mistaken. I did miss that actually, but a good kill again to shut down the Balfagor.
We're averaging about 2 hero kills per minute. That's when you know things are pretty intense here.
Oh yeah, I mean, whenever we watch a Doghouse game specifically, because Team Tim, they do have their moments or their games rather, where they're more passive, but they are still able to match other teams' aggression. Doghouse specifically is probably the most aggressive team on the competitive scene. So it does not surprise me we're seeing 2 kills per minute.
Are we going to be seeing a Maka Brilliance on Gladiator? Because he just bought the
yeah, so he's going to go the damage route. I think that that's fine because he's had a very good start. He is the top farmer in the game. He's almost 460 GPM. He's cleaning up this Catman camp. But once he goes the Mach, he'll probably follow that up with either like a Barrier Rattle or a Shrunken Head, just something to kind of protect him so that he can deal his damage. But it is a pretty good build, I would say.
That was so awkward. Pops a Veiled Rot right in front of Lord Zelforce, who had his own Veiled Rot popped. But Lord Zelforce comes out, and now Gladiator is hunting for a kill still.
Is being done, and they have the ward. They have the ward here by the Ancients. So this could be a Kongor steal. Magnus goes down to the Nightfall.
Shadowblade's in trouble. The Call to Arms Kongor is going to be stolen, it looks like. And they get the
wow.
kill. Oh, absolute disaster right now for Doghouse. You see at least Balfagor is able to get up on Lord Zelforce, standing his ground. Has a Shaman's Headdress, somewhat tanky. Gladiator, Undying's on him. He's just going to keep kiting, though. He's got plenty of teammate support. Down goes the Zelforce. And Team Tim just takes the biggest lead of the game right there.
Wow, that ward of sight, and it just wore off, Breaky. That was a matter of maybe 30 seconds. If they had started that Kongor just a little bit later, that ward would have been expired, and they would have had no information. And now Balfagor is getting dove at the tier 3. They have the lockdown from the stun trio there, and it ends up being a full genocide.
Uh-oh. Well, Rally, he might end up dying. No, never mind. He actually is going to run. So he mentioned the genocide coming out, the Kongor steal. 6,300 goldie. Now Zane is basically saying, all right, kill me, that's fine, don't kill my teammates, just distract. And that's Magnus isn't falling for it though. Let that go on some more.
He tried to guess if Torture or somebody was TPing in the trees, so I like the fact that he just random stunned there. It didn't work out, but it's the thought that he tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do end up killing the Moira, as you were kind of mentioning. They got the consolation prize, so to speak.
Man, this lead though is just really accelerating now for Team Tim, right? 6,300 gold lead. It's really more about that though. There's also the mental factor after something like that happens too, where your Kongor, you're about to kill it.
Torture Engineer has a mind. I don't think this is enough damage though. He does not have an energy field currently. Mine is up in 3 seconds, but Torture's gonna take him out before that can come back up. Plus there was healing coming in from the gnomes. That was unfortunate, because if he had placed enough time, to place one more mine, I think he would have maybe got that kill.
Well, they might clean up, or Moira more so going to be the one that's found.
She actually got her Arcane Vortex off. That's actually really big, because now they can turn.
Torture, talking about that turn. The turn happens. Moira survives as well, and now Balfagor is also going to fall. You called it. The Vortex timing from Zane was perfect. Buys the time needed, and that's the response potential that this Legion team has yet again, as we've been seeing and saying throughout it. So I keep going back to, I mean, the mental state right now, it's just definitely in a big lead as well for this Legion side. They have all the momentum, and it's what's the game plan here? Well, I mean, if you're the coach of Team Doghouse, you call the timeout. You're like, all right, this is what we need to do. What are we saying?
Yeah, so obviously Team Tim has 2 500 GPM farmers right now. They're on their way to getting their next tier of items, so it's continuing to progress for Team Tim. But as far as Doghouse goes, I think you recognize you have the Shadow Blade, you have the carry who can take over the game if you can just kind of buy him that time. I think they just need to maybe try to split push a little bit, try to avoid them maybe for 5 to 8 minutes, and try to get Shadowblade to 1 to 2 items to where he can start to team fight into Legion. So he'll definitely need, I think, a Shrunken Head, because there's just too many stuns, too much crowd control for him to handle right now. So if they can kind of buy time, get to that timing, Zelforce gets the Barrier Idol, they just bulk up. I think that they can kind of outlast Team Tim's damage, try to get those key pickoffs with the Undying that they're looking for. So maybe put that on the Torture, because right now the Torture is very bulky, and he's going to output a lot of damage. So if we look at the damage chart, I could have said this without even checking, Torture's at 15%. And that's just the nature of the hero. The tankier he gets, the more he's able to sit in the fight and just sit there with his Torment up. So I think they're going to be wanting to aim him down with that Undying.
So obviously we saw the big steal in the Conqueror coming out from the Legion team. Their own Conqueror is still up. Is there a time, like, is there a reason why they haven't done it yet? You think they just don't feel like they don't need to force it yet?
I think that they are just content with pressuring the lanes and just continuously using Gladiator and Moira to set up for Nightfalls and stuff. And we see them even get the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Torture just pushed that. So they continue to kind of space the map. Top lane is pushed out all the way to Doghouse's tier 2. So Doghouse is feeling, as you can see on the mini-map, obviously we don't have their vision, but we have the global vision. We see that they're pinned kind of to their own jungle right now, which just shows that they are playing rather scared. And I think that's just due to Team Tim's ability to just keep clearing out the waves and forcing it to the Hellborn side of the map.
Look at this rally, just scouting things out with that invis rune, getting all the information needed. Gladiator was nearby, but ends up TPing away, so really, I don't think Rowley, he might go, there's no way he's going South Forest, so if
No.
it's somebody else, but, oh, it's Mind Trap, by the way, so look at Engineer in the other jungle. Oh, Bensington almost ran into it.
I think the only one he can solo kill with a Mind Trap right now is the Moira. And if he hit that keg, I might have eaten my words, because he might have been able to power supply Energy Field and bring down Gladiator there. So that was actually really close to a kill. But, yeah.
Is this where we're at with Engineer now? He just goes and looks for Mind Traps and then gets out? I mean, this is fun.
I mean, ideally, he would be doing this. Actually, middle lane, we see Shadowblade getting caught. That is not good news for Doghouse.
That's your Shadowblade. Just, how about the Shadowblade? He got that Firebrand what feels like 15 minutes ago, and that the farm was great. He still only has the Firebrand, essentially.
Yeah, and they're gonna try to get a return kill on the Bensington, who's all by himself, so they spot him out on that ward of sight up in the top river. Middle lane, Balfagor is in response getting killed. There's a savage 6 streak now for Embo Boy, who's almost up to 600 gold per minute on the Torture. He even picks up a light brand now. He's going toward a Grimoire of Power. It's gonna run into Engineer here. Eruption.
They're gonna do all they can. No, Magma stuns in with the Eruption activated, but that Vortex stalls it as it usually does. Down goes Magma Self Force. At least they take out Mora, but they lose the Self Force as well. It continues to get further and further away from Team Doghouse over here. Has been out that 13.5k net worth lead for the Legion side. And you talk about Torture and just nearly 600 GPM. Absolute insanity there. The Shrunken Head, it looks like we're going to be seeing on Gladiator as well.
Torture's only recipe away from his Grimoire. And Gladiator, like you said, getting closer to his Shrunken. Bensington, I believe, is going still the Thunderclaw route, so he still wants to transition into a damage dealer. Which I think is fine, even though he's only on the 330 GPM mark. Just synergizes so well with his hero with the Heart Piercer amplifying magic output. But
Shadowblade.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention Shadowblade. So he's pooling a lot of gold that you mentioned earlier, and it's almost like Fa maybe is trying to feel out if he has the ability to go for something other than just rushing into a Shrunken Head. Because ideally, and again, I am still kind of surprised that he didn't go for the Nullfire Blade, because it is a much better fighting item with his team than going into a first item Firebrand on this hero. Obviously it is about 1,000 gold more expensive, but Engineer is getting caught here. I don't think they're going to be able to save him, so they should just let him go.
Yeah, I was with you there, but they get a little too furious. And
Shadowblade goes down again.
They got Shadowblade, and the stun hits towards South Forest. Emma Boy's on point. Nightfall in front just in case. South Forest dead, so yeah, just let the NG die, man. Instead, they lose 2 more. 2 very key targets, and now this is a free bottom push all the way to the base for Team Tim.
So he actually right clicked the Nullfire Blade before he died. I guess he did not. He did not think about, or he did not go into the parts to Shrunken Head. So I feel like he's gonna continue to have the same problems until he can get that item, because there's just so much crowd control from the side of Team Tim.
They're gonna steal another Kongor this time. No, they're not gonna go for it. Not worth wasting the time. They have a very comfortable lead. Don't want to give the other team a chance to catch them off guard. They didn't get the tower.
Smoked
at the
up Balfagor here, and Magnus is in the area. They see them coming down the river with the ward, but unfortunately Magnus was a little too slow. But honestly, just great reactions from Volka to PK out. I think as soon as he saw danger coming his way. So just good heads up from Rally to PK in time.
I mean, all right. Well, he has that Nullfire now, so keep going back to go with the Firebrand. So, this game ain't over yet. I mean, let's obviously we're in a spot of sure it's a massive lead, and the chances of winning is certainly much smaller now for Team Doghouse. But hey, we've seen it many times before. We cast this game, watched this game for a long time. Wombo combos, if anything, could still keep you in it, and they do have that potential. Hell on New Earth, you got the eruption, the energy field, of course. They get a team fight where they get the initiation that they're looking for, and suddenly things can go the other way.
Smoked up Gladiator here at top river. He might run into Engineer. He's actually going to see the Shadow Blade, which is the target he'd rather go for.
Absolutely, and that should be a free kill. I mean, again, he's tanky, but not nearly tanky enough. Too much damage. Engineer did all he could, especially against a shrunken-headed Gladiator, which basically is nothing.
And now Balfagor could be in trouble if he gets caught here. The ports are coming in. They're going to look for him. He does a nice juke. Oh, wow, the Bensington stun was so close. They're going to get the tower deny here at the least. That was a near kill on the Balfagor as well.
As if they need more things to go their way. They do. They get the top secondary tower as well. Grimoire's on Torture, he talked about earlier. He has another 2,000 gold already saved up. 3,000 gold on Gladiator as well. I'm guessing Torture is going to go for a BKB or a Shrunken Head himself, as he bought the axe there to begin it. So that's just another one coming. So I was just talking about this whole Wombo combo. A lot of it is magic reliant. So you have these Shrunken Heads now coming out. Suddenly those chances go down even further.
Yeah, and we see Torture and Bensington, I think, both building toward their own Shrunken Head as Gladiator. We know he's gotten his. Morishar gets put onto Rally. He blinks in to catch Engineer. So he will go down.
No energy field to worry about now if a fight does break out for the next 30 seconds. Self-Force bought back earlier in the game, by the way. He's the only one that's used a buyback worth pointing out. Magnus, top by Rally. The rest of the team trying to catch up to him. Nice. Oh, that's a Vortex on a Shadow Blade. We thought he could make a play right there, so there's a stall. Now they come out, and Shadow Blade just being pulled and pushed every which way. He goes in, trying to take out Sir Bensington, but it just ain't going to happen. Another death. 24,000 gold lead. I mean, Doghouse not going to show a sign of giving up just yet, but it feels like we're starting to get to that point.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they know, obviously, the team fights for, a while now haven't been going their way. I'm sure that they know that they're in a large deficit. Maybe they don't know exactly what this resource number is at the top, but at the same time, they could also still be trying to think, hey, maybe there's a chance that they'll do like a really deep dive and we can get some return kills. We still have the Shadow Blade who does scale well, so there are still some chances, but they might also just be thinking, hey, what is it that we maybe did wrong this game before they, call it and go into another game. So they might be thinking about next game as well. You never really know, but I do like that they're sticking in the game and not, giving up just yet, because they definitely have a good draft and they have the tools if Team Tim makes some kind of mistake that they could capitalize and kind of recover the game. I have seen games that have been around this kind of a lead be turned, so it is possible.
It's a long series as well. This is just game 1 of best of 5, but we got a mid-fight initiation. Balfagor goes down. He didn't get to tell anyone what it looks like, actually, but is it enough to set up the return of the answer? Bensington missed the stun, but doesn't matter. Shadow Blade still goes down before you get the kill on Bensington. Magnus just trying to live now. That ain't gonna happen. Bradley was the only one to fall on the Legion side, and it looks like DJs came out basically during the fight. So that is official. We got Team Tim taking out Team Doghouse in game number 1. But as I was just talking about, we're both kind of going, I mean, this is a long series. It's the best out of 5, so sure, 1-0 lead, but still plenty of time to recover and get back into it. But whew, what a game, though. A lot of action. That's really what you hope for in the end as a spectator, and we certainly got plenty of it. Looking forward to game 2 already. But final thoughts before we go into the break?
I like that they kind of swapped things up on the side of Team Tim. They did a 1-2-2 setup initially. That threw me off as well. I'm sure that threw off Doghouse. And I think that them letting the Gladiator and Torture get good starts in both the mid and bottom lane kind of hurt Doghouse's early game a lot. Now, granted, they had a lot of really good Magnus rotations after like around the 2 to 5 minute mark area, but not getting like any momentum on Balfagor, I think, really hurt their like ability to just maybe get a couple of towers, give them some team gold and whatnot. I think they just weren't able to get their draft to where it kind of shines, with Shadowblade getting to his scary point as well. So just really, really well laned, I think, and great rotations just from all stages of the game from Team Tim. They used their Nightfalls really well, and their Gladiator Moira ultimates and catch very, very, very well.